Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast reviews edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me is my bestest best friend in the entire world, Chubax. How are you doing, Chubax?
What's up? Good. Just recovering from tiring week. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, recovering from vacation. And for the ones that have been following us, we took a little break. I went to Chicago to do a little mini reunion with my cousins over the weekend,
Nice.
but we are very, very excited to discuss a very, very special show, very special book,
Yes.
very special graphic novel, very special audiobook in our friend group,
Mm-hmm.
possibly the source material that really opened my eyes into graphic novels when I was a wee little boy. This week will we be discussing season one of Netflix's Sandman, the series based out of the Sandman graphic novel by Neil Gaiman. Before that, though, a little bit of housekeeping. If you have not gone to our channel before, if this is your first time, welcome. Thank you very much for viewing. We hope that you like the content. We are the Plus 63 HP boys. We review content so that you guys know whether you can spend your hard earned resources and time and watch it by yourself, with your friends, and with your family. This show, the reviews program, comes out twice a week, Mondays and Tuesdays. We will do one movie of the week and one series of the week to deep dive with my brothers here and then give you our opinions. We rate them at the end and give you all of the details on why you should or shouldn't watch this particular show or series. On Wednesdays, we drop our D&D show. This is a recording of our very, very first D&D campaign. A bunch of middle-aged old men doing their very,
Amen.
very first D&D campaign. We never had resources when we were younger. Now we do. Now we are. We're recording it for posterity and for your entertainment. On Thursdays, we have our React show. We curate a select number of featurettes, clips, short videos, trailers mostly, react to them and see which ones are we most hype about. So you too can track and follow the ones that you might be interested in watching in the future. We also have, or at least Chubax and our other RJ has, a second D&D campaign. Those episodes come out every Friday. So every day of the week, as long as we record regularly, or as long as we record something during the week, you'll have 5 full days worth of content to enjoy. If you want to watch us, you're watching us right now. Go to youtube.com plus 63HP. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when our new videos drop. You can also follow us on social, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The handle is at plus 63HP. And if you don't want to watch us video on demand, you just want to listen to us while you are working or doing your chores, just search plus 63HP on the podcasting app of your choice. We will surely be there. We particularly like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon, but we're everywhere. Pandora, Bandcamp, whatever. We're there. Listen to us. Um, and we'd love to hear your comments, and we'd love to discuss with you further all the content that we are discussing. Housekeeping done. Now we go to the meat of the story. We are discussing the season one of the Sandman.
The sand.
Before we go to the synopsis of this 10 episode masterpiece, let's just do like a very, very quick uh non-spoilery review for those ones that haven't really seen the series yet. You're debating because it is 10 episodes. That is quite a lot of time. You've never heard of Sandman. You don't know what graphic novels are. You don't know what this graphic novel is based out of. um what did you think of season one in general, Chubax?
I loved it. I loved it. Maybe some hiccups in the special effects, but that's expected. Can't. I mean, unless you have unlimited budget, then
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't need it anyways, as long as it was creative enough, and which they were. So yeah, it was. I guess you could say it was close to everything I wanted.
Mhm.
As a Sandman, as one of my most beloved, as you said, near and dear to our hearts, this graphic novel, the series. Now I really hope they get to finish it, and
Yeah.
I'm even more excited that I hope we get more like those one shot episodes, like just
Hmm.
him as a cat, stuff like that. I just heard that story. I can't wait. I hope they keep going.
That was my knee jerk initial reaction as well is it was wonderfully done. Like 90% of the cast that they put in every single episode was quite perfect for the roles that they were casted in. Um, this has been there has been a very long storied, documented um uh backstory in terms of how this was being adopted. I think this has been tried to become adopted since 1991.
So long.
Various films, various publishing houses, but various studios. But I think them putting it out as a series slash binge type on Netflix really makes it like a perfect vehicle for a story like this. I was the
Can
only
you
concern that
go?
go ahead.
What's your concern?
No, like my concern when I heard that Netflix was already doing it, Neil Gaiman was on there. They had David S. Goyer, a lot of very, very, strong creatives behind this particular IP in Netflix. So I wasn't, and Netflix had, at least during the time that this was being made, somewhat of they they had a lot of resources. So I knew it was
Mm-hmm.
gonna look good. They were gonna cast great. My concern was I didn't know um their strategy in terms of how to adapt the books. Are they going to adapt all 10 volumes in one season, first 5 volumes in one season, 1 volume per season? I didn't know how they were going to combine different storylines and books. And I realized I haven't read the books in quite some time.
I know.
And then, yeah, when I watched all 10 episodes, I was like, I think it was properly chunked together. Like the
Mm-hmm.
first bunch of episodes was about this. The middle episode was my favorite, and it was
Of course.
cinematic
Four,
masterpiece.
five,
And then the
six.
last, yeah, oh my god, 4, 5, 6 was the best. Five, five, and Sandman Morpheus wasn't even there. It was great. And then the last bits about the vortex was kind of like, oh, it made sense. There was a little bit of like hiccup going from act 2 to act 3 of the season, but um I realized that
It's just like it started a little more like a new series because we got introduced to a lot. But once you
mhm,
start, because these all of these characters are really likable and you really are drawn to
mhm,
all of them.
mhm.
So that, yeah, I agree. There's a kind of a hiccup because it's like start, but we're gonna get a lot of that. We're gonna get a lot of starts from scratch. The only thread is Morpheus or the dreaming. So it was still good
I
despite that.
I again I this is one of those very, very unique experiences where usually it's either I love it so much, let's do it week on week so that we can discuss every week,
Mm-hmm.
or I love it so much I couldn't stop watching it. This was one of the unique instances when I started watching it, saw the first 3, 4 episodes, I had to stop and absorb.
Me as well.
It's like I don't want to say I don't want to continue. It's like there's certain lines that they did, but overall, like this is one of those things where non-spoilery, it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the actors were great. There's a few that I will discuss later that I was like, huh, um, I don't know about that one person because they're really, really, scoring up the scene. But um, it sounds great. The effects, of course, it was a little bit janky at times, but the idea is, I think it works because it is the world of something that we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to, we don't know what realistic looks like there.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the 10 episodes was perfect. That quantity was perfect. Because I figured if they made this like a 6 to 8 episode season, a
Yeah.
little too short,
Mm.
a little too congested. And if we made it longer than 10 episodes, we might forget about the first few episodes where a lot of the themes and threads were still being built up on. So this is one of those things that I truly enjoyed, and I cannot wait for the next season, but I actually can. They take your time.
Let's make it good.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is great. All right, with that, Chubax, I'll give it up to you. What's our quick synopsis about Sandman Season One, and then we'll discuss.
So yeah, so we'll basically start with the basics. There we have Morpheus, or the Sandman, or the King of Dreams. He's like, you can call him the King of Dreams. You can call him Dream
Dream.
itself. Yeah, it can
Mhm.
be the personification of Dream. And yeah, this is basically his story. The intertwined with the lives of other supernatural beings and regular people. And so the first thread, which goes, so the first episode basically is just like a magic a cult that
Mhm.
wants to capture death, but they captured Dream instead. So in capturing Dream, they didn't know that they kind of fucked up the dreaming world, which is very connected with the waking world. So there's a lot of things that are happening that if you don't watch closely, you're gonna miss the interconnectedness of it all. But so they captured Dream. He was captured for like close to a century, or maybe around a century, and he didn't speak. And then they took his tools. Those basically that's the main thing. They took his
Mhm.
helmet, his ruby, and his pouch of sand that he's come to rely on. So, anyways, after 100 years, he's able to escape. And then the first three, four, 5 episode, the second episode to the fifth episode is him trying to get all those back. So we have an
Mhm.
adventure where he tries to get his sand pouch from London, from Johanna Constantine. And so they look for it, they find it. There's some adventures there. Um, and he finds a pouch first, and then on episode 4, he goes to hell, faces off with Lucifer to to get his helm back.
It's him. Mhm.
And then episode 5 is he tries to get his ruby back, and of course he gets it there. And then episode 6 is him like this is like the whole the fall, after the sugar hype, you're all adrenaline,
Mhm.
you're on a journey, you're on a quest. And then this is like the aftermath, and it's like he's left with nothing. So he meets up with his sister Death. And then
No real purpose. Oh, well, no main purpose, no main storyline to kind of quest. So he's just
yeah,
trying to reconnect
like us
with
also,
the.
like he's also
Mm,
trying to reconnect with his function in this world. And that leads up to the my favorite one of my favorite single issues of any series, any title, the one with Hobgoblin.
Oh, I was gonna say
So
I was debating whether my favorite storyline would be had Hobgadling,
or
Vampire
or
Story, Highlander Story, whatever, or the
the fifth
Walk and
one
Talk
with Death.
with Death.
And then they had it in the same
I
episode. And they had
and
it
it's
in the
the
same episode.
24/7 is kind of like the sorry, the Sound of Her Wings.
Yeah, sounds
Oh,
right.
okay.
And then for the final act, 7 8, I guess, yeah, 7 8 9 10. It's all about a lot of things coming together. Um there's like the main crux is there's a dream vortex that is one of the main functions of Morpheus as or Dream, is to contain it and kill it, make sure it doesn't destroy the walls of the dreaming and the waking world. But this is a person, and it also ties in with his missing nightmares and dreams. Galt, Galt, the Corinthian,
The
and
Shapeshifter,
Fiddler's Green.
Fiddler's Green.
And then we also have the dream. We also see through the story through the eyes of Rose, who turns out to be the dream vortex. looking for her brother, and the house that she's staying in Florida, Cape, was it Cape,
Cape
Cape,
Cape May.
yeah, any something, some place in Florida. She stays in this B&B that has
Cape Kennedy. Cape
Cape
Kennedy.
Kennedy, one of the most interesting group of people you'll ever find. But the one I loved about us, like, they're so different, but they're so all together. You know, they're all
Mm-hmm.
helpful. They're all nice, which is so nice. And then basically what happened in the end was that when Sandman was captured, there were over a million people all over the world that couldn't wake up. They were stuck in the dreaming,
Or couldn't
and
sleep. There's a lot of
yeah,
like sleep
that
stuff.
also. But anyways, his sibling Desire raped one of them who was asleep, and in doing that, uh, the vortex that Unity, who couldn't wake up, was supposed to be the vortex, but because she woke up, she couldn't wake up and she was raped. She gave birth, and then it ended up to be her great granddaughter Rose. The vortex came into, and one of the only rules of the Endless Morpheus family is you can't kill family.
Yep.
So Desire manipulated the circumstances so that if when Sandman kills Rose,
The vortex.
the vortex, which is
It'll
one of his
be.
main duties, it will be
Mhm.
also incidentally, technically his family, so he'll be killed also. So or he has to die or something like that. But they were able to find it out, and in the end, Unity took back the vortex, and she was the one that Morpheus killed, and Rose was able to continue living and be with his brother. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And Dream was angry at uh, Desire and told her not to interfere in his business again. And then that's where we end season one. Oh, and
The,
Lucifer having plans for
oh
hell, but then it's cut off. I thought they were gonna show it, but
yeah,
save something for her.
that's the cool thing about this season because one, all right, we have to address that Sandman, the graphic novel, all 100 issues, all 10 volumes.
75, I think.
Yeah,
70, 75 ish.
it's the epitome of not just comics, not just books, but the epitome of
Literature.
storytelling,
Yes.
right? It's the source material is so rich in the story. The original author masterfully crafted this world, all of these stories, woven it together, both in an individual structure. Because that's what you mentioned. I know we're doing like a very quick synopsis, but any summary, any synopsis will not do justice in terms
Mm-hmm.
of how every single individual character within each episode that had multiple characters in them kind of um, builds up to the episode, and that episode builds up to a small storyline, and that small storyline builds up to a bigger storyline. And it's not even the storyline themselves. The singular lines themselves makes you think because all of this is concepts that anybody cannot understand. Even just the idea of the main character, Endless. The Endless are they're they're older and sometimes more powerful than gods, but sometimes they are not. Like even humans can, as we can see, we start the season as Dream being captured, being kept in prison for 100 years by regular fucking cult members, right? So the idea of this is even that idea alone breaks our understanding of these mythical stories or mythical creatures like, oh, you're a god, you're XYZ. Yeah, but everybody has either a limit or everything can be either contained or released or captured or hurt or loved or taken. So even that idea on the very, very first episode, it took me a while to kind of rejigger my memories. Like, wait, okay, we start with Morpheus being captured by Roderick Burgess, etc., etc. And then within that, there's a little storyline about those early days. What happens when people don't dream? What happens when people can't wake up from their sleep? What happens when they cannot sleep. So there's all of these like very basic things to kind of let you walk a little bit, and then we go further and further, and then not to with escaping in the tools of escape, and the tools itself have their own stories. Like the sand does one thing,
Mm.
makes him traverse all wherever, capture all dreams. The helm, I keep forgetting what it does.
I know. I didn't got. I don't remember as well. He didn't
Yeah.
really do. Maybe protection. I don't know, armor.
Maybe, yeah, we'll do that. But like among all of that, the ruby is the most important thing because the ruby makes dreams come true. So that's why, we start with the sand. Gets the sand so he can capture all of this. He can travel places, get information where he can get information. See, talking to, um, the fates, right? The
Mm.
three ladies. In different mythologies, those are like they have strings that they can cut. They hold people's destinies or lives together. And then once you get information, you can go to hell and get the helm. And then there's a wonderful fight scene, quote unquote fight scene with Lucifer Morningstar, about what beats what other thing from a dire
Ideas.
wolf, which made me chuckle because Brienne of Tarth, the first
Yeah. Game of
monster that
Thrones.
he's like, I am a dire wolf, flesh eating, whatever, and then dire wolf, and then a hunter, and then a bacteria or a
Snake.
snake, and
Serpent.
then a
A
bird of
bird.
prey, bacteria, and then there's like all of these things. Like what goes better than the other, and even that episode too is like ranks high because we tell the power of what dreams are. We tell the function of hell. What is hell? Why is hell different from all of us? And why do people will suffer through hell for love or something like that? There's so many. There's like 5,000 stories in just like the first four episodes, and we don't even get to. So again, the um first four episodes, first 4 to 5 episodes is um uh getting the tools back,
Mm-hmm.
right? The first three base baseline of what endless are, what gods are, what dreamings are, getting the initial tools, and then we travel to a different world, hell. So apart from Earth, apart from the dreaming, we go to hell as well. That is part of that function. And then once we get there, there's a mini storyline, episode 5, in terms of just getting the ruby, and then we see the effects of the ruby, which is making dreams come true. And I love that too because the ruby itself. So one of Roderick Burgess, the person that uh uh captured Dream, had a mistress, Ethel Krebs,
Mm-hmm.
that got pregnant, and then the Ethel Krebs and his son escaped instead of being aborted, and then Ethel Krebs stole those tools that gave her wealth
Mm-hmm.
and long life and protection, etc., etc. Um, so the ruby was actually something that sounds so perfect, so great, can
Mm-hmm.
actually be so detrimental because like the ruby makes dreams come true, and sometimes people's misunderstanding and with the idea of this is power is not supposed to be controlled by one person or humanity itself because we don't understand the ripples of what we do. So the 24/7 episode 5, one of the best episodes is simply put, what happens when we don't lie, right? What happens when we don't lie if we're not lying to ourselves or we're not lying to everybody else? Everybody's the truth. Initially, it shows if everybody's just truthful, everybody can help each other out. Everybody can be happy. Everybody can get their dream. But, once the longer it gets, the more some people are selfish. Some people just don't know what they're doing. Some people, um, do so many different things. Um, it goes awry. So I love how part of that episode was um what was that dude's name? John, right? John was
Mm-hmm.
the a bastard son of Roderick Burgess, son of Ethel Krebs. Just like I just took away lies, and then if nobody lies, everybody can live their dream.
It
But
sounds good at
dreams,
first, but
yeah, lies are just. I love this technique. Lies are just, or dreams are just lies that are not true yet. So sometimes you have to dream slash lie to yourself to get through the things that you need to get through right now so that you can get to the place where you need to go in
but
the future.
yeah, it's not only that. It's also the analysis of like you say that it's always been said like people who are like nice but like inside because they're lying to some they're like pretending to be nice and so they're kind of lying. So if you strip that away, you get the real them. But that's not the real them. The part of that
Mm-hmm.
lying, it's also them, you know. So it's
Yep.
also even though I'm lying to be nice or trying to pretend to be nice, I am being nice in essence. You know what I mean. Like the action is still being nice, and if I do that every day, does that make it any less real than because inside I don't like to be like that? You know what I mean. So it's a dichotomy. It's like that's what Dream was saying. It's like even though they were lying or dreaming, and there is something inside them that is they're not showing off. That thing, that covering thing, is still part of them. So if you strip it
Mm-hmm.
off, it's not them anymore. So they got
I
all
that
fucked up with that episode.
I just love that, in every minute, every second of this series, there's always layers because there's no real good or bad. That's the good thing about what I'm looking at this. We have monsters, we have nightmares walking around, but these nightmares are walking around built with a purpose, right? Every time that we face a nightmare, Morpheus says, nightmares are things that will force humanity to look at the scariest things about their being and face it, right? Either change it, cower from it. But these are I read the books few times. I understood the layers of this, but being told, being said by great actors, and I've listened to the audiobook too, like being told about these things has a different weight to it. So even when Dream was saying like, you know, they're not lying, they're dreaming. And then the idea of that is so the even that small dichotomy is so profound because that's right. Like all of our dreams are not true. Technically, what is not true? A lie. But that's not necessarily it, right? It's not it. It's not a dream is not a lie, right? So there is a way that commutative property or transitive property doesn't actually, it's not really true. Like, yes, anything not true is a lie. Yes, dreams are not true, but that does not equate to each other. Sometimes, again, the dreaming is the thing that will get you through today so you can get through tomorrow to get closer to reality slash the truth. So even that was like when I saw that episode, I really just had to stop. It was nighttime. I walked the park. I was smiling because like that was good. That was everything that I wanted that issue to become. I mean, the issue. I popped open the book and I looked at that issue, and in the comics, like it's like every hour there's a story, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's 24/7. It's like 24 hours in a day. And then there was just like what, hour 11. It was just like black. Nothing happened, or 2 a.m. It's just like black, nothing happened. So it's like great. Yeah, oh my god, this is that's one of my favorite things to do, and perfectly casted because Lupin from the Harry Potter series was the guy. Great actor.
So good. Yeah. No, I love Jenna Coleman as
Oh,
Joanna.
Jenna Coleman.
She's her spunk. I mean,
Mm.
we've seen it in Doctor Who, but she's just on another level. Gwendolyn Christie is amazing as
Oh, Gwendolyn Christie.
Lucifer. I can't wait to see her playing piano and living it in Lux. I mean, I heard an interview where they considered Tom Ellis actually, but I
Oh,
think
interesting.
yeah, but like thematically I think maybe they just couldn't combine it properly, which I think it's okay. He had 6 seasons of Lucifer anyways. We're getting a different Lucifer here. I love Death. Death is just,
Death was great.
oh my god, like I definitely see what they saw in her, and it's like, of course, there's those people with the woke shit. Like, oh my god, but she was so
I
amazing. Yeah,
I
go.
was reading through a lot, or I was listening to a lot of podcasts about reviews about Sandman. I saw a lot of tweets when it came out because I didn't see it till this week.
Mm.
This has Sandman has been out for a little since last Friday, so a lot of people have seen it before. Um, I I'm not saying I agree, but I kind of understand that this is one of those things where even if you have not read the book, so even if you don't know which characters have been gender bent, right? Like, Lucy for um obviously super she was literally white in the
Who?
comics.
Who?
Sorry, Death, right? She was literally white in the comics and she's played by African American. I did not take issue with that. Um Constantine being Constantine. I can't say Constantine. Constantine um being gender bent. I I understand because Constantine fans know Constantine as this one pack a day, super dirty, super gritty kind of guy, and some people get attracted to that. For me, um, we've already seen that long trench coat, brown trench coat type
For me,
multiple times.
she was basically Constantine, except for the smoking. She was
Yeah,
great.
well,
She the
she
story
was too
is,
clean for me. Like she was too pristine.
oh,
Right?
she's a
That white,
woman.
come on, white coat.
She's a
Right?
woman, so
Yeah. Yeah, she's pristine. So
she's a little more kept. But
exactly.
but
But
the
again,
story wise, character wise, value wise, she was great. She was the same almost.
100%. And
And they don't have the
the
rights for Constantine, so you can get that, give them a pass as well.
oh yeah, yeah. So for me, I prefer that this was changed because again, we have Constantine in the
Yeah,
CW,
and
we
as you said,
have
we've
Keanu
already, yeah,
Reeves, all the DC animated series, and then we
yeah.
have I've heard a lot of podcasts discuss like they're really really happy that they really departed from like we had Supernatural for 15 seasons, and Castiel is essentially like a dumb Constantine, like
The
right, so
form,
it's
yeah.
yeah, because he was an angel, he doesn't know humanity, but everything else, the look, the talk, the
Mm-hmm.
scruff, it's we've seen it all the time. I don't want we already have one cool dude with a trench coat. Let's keep him that. But if I really looked at it, and 80% of the time that you're looking on a screen, it's always some woke thing. Like 80% of the characters are women. Most of them are either queer. Even the guys are also queer. So I understand some of the reviews or hate things like, wow, it's a little heavy handed where everybody is in a interracial relationship or a same sex relationship or a combination of both. Um, I did not really see it until I started hearing people look at it. And then once I heard it, it's like, it does look like it. But for me, I don't mind. You know why? Because every fucking one of them is great, except for one. There's only one
Who did you
character
not
that
like?
I was like, uh Lyta Hall.
Laita Hall.
Lyta Hall.
I liked her. It was okay for me.
She's gorgeous, but every time she's on screen, because Rose Walker, she was charming.
Mm-hmm.
She was really good. Like she didn't overact. She felt earnest, and usually earnest, like a nice young lady, is always hard to pull off because it feels like you're acting. She felt like, oh, you seem just like a nice person when you're talking to your grandma. Which the other thing that I don't understand, why do they call it great grandma? Isn't it just grandma?
No, it's great. Miranda, Rose's mom, was the granddaughter of
The granddaughter. Okay, so all
so
right,
yeah, she's the fourth gen.
got it.
So there's
Okay,
uniquely
I thought
one more that wasn't mentioned, Miranda, and then
okay, okay. I forgot that they skipped that. So I was just like, isn't it grandma if if your daughter is Miranda, which is Rose's
Mhm.
mom. Either way, but I love Rose whenever she talks with uh Unity, right? Her great grandma, their banter, super proper. And then usually we only hear that in English shows. This one is American. So kind of like, no Floridian will be this nice to talk to their great grandma, but I believed it. Even the 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 solicitor slash attorney Halliday, yeah,
Mhm.
his
Very
Englishness
stiff.
is very, I believed everything. The only time that I kind of like am taken away from the story is Lyda Hall, which is weird because their storyline is with the dollhouse people, the B&B people, which are all fucking weird. You
Mhm.
have two goth chicks, you have Barbie and Ken, you have a drag queen slash B&B host, and then they're more believable than just like a regular girl. So that's the only, for me, that's the one character. Oh, and the other thing that kind of took me away, um Matthew, I think, for personally, having a very recognizable voice, which is Patton Oswalt as
Mhm.
Matthew, was not the best choice for me. I would have preferred a different um like a different recognizable nerdy voice, like Will Wheaton or something like that. Or I
For
just felt like
me,
every
I didn't mind Matthew because it was just like Patton was like, what if he died and became the Raven? Now, so it's like just the same, but he did have a line like I didn't like the part where he interrupted and gave the pep talk to Dream in
mm,
Hell. That was a little too cheesy, as Pascal, my friend Pas said. Like, I just wish that Dream was the one that himself countered with the hope thing without needing help. But it
yeah,
was okay. It's a little
during
too
the
much.
fight scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just every time I listen, I guess it's because like his voice is everywhere. Like he has Modoc, he has Agents of Shield, he has his fingerprints all over the nerd culture stuff that it's a little too recognizable. So I kind of associate it with other things. Again, luckily he's not there all the time. He's
Mm-hmm.
just, he was, yeah, you're right. You know what? That took me away to like a fucking crow that has just been a a, a crow not too long. Like he doesn't even know everything. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even know what the endless
Yeah.
are.
It's
Never
like
been to hell. Pep talking. Okay, but okay, it moved the stuff forward. But all of those like, those
for
minor.
me, yeah, for me for the woke thing, I mean, turn on other 90% of the other shows you're gonna find white homo
Mm-hmm,
heterosexual relationships without even one gay
mm-hmm,
relationship. And so what if this is a little heavy-handed? They're still interesting characters. They're you still have Ken and Barbie to balance
yeah,
things out.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
And Lida and Hector also,
yeah,
right?
so
Interracial relationship, yeah. But no, I mean you're right. I get it. For me though, it's like there's just added scrutiny because it is a lot. It's not the normal rate, which is good because now we're this is what
yeah.
the world looks like, right? Um, the only thing that I kind of like was, oh no, it was like, and I really don't mind it because fuck, Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer, and I read a little bit that all of her everything that she wore, all of her robes slash gowns were
Mm.
designed by her husband.
Oh, really?
So
That's
yeah, so it's kind of like it's great. So like, but every line was delivered with such there's like contempt.
it's like just
Like
stab me already. Like,
yeah, it's like
you're gonna
there
stab
even
me already?
the last episodes like oh you like during the last episode almost like the epilogue is smart you can't invade or rule the dream anything else but hell. So instead of us invading the dreaming and then invading the waking world, let's just make everything hell. Not wrong, right?
Yeah, but then
Right?
as you know, that's just a subversion. She's not gonna do that.
Yeah, but the idea is like when not no future spoilers,
Yeah.
like smart ideas. But I'm looking at it at her acting when she was
Oh
being
yeah.
told by her generals. Ooh, was like, ooh, you feel that there's
And
like
then just
something
as you
there.
said, every line it's just like it's like she imagined what Lucifer would feel like for being a million years in hell, and she's just fed up, and she's just like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. I don't like this place, and everybody's beneath me, and I'm still stuck here. Like, it's just so she's so pissed, and like, it's so good.
I so that, and then we talked about John Burgess. Like he was such a believable, crazy, not crazy
Yeah,
guy,
he just wanted his son back.
justified,
Yeah,
right? Like it's so mind-boggling. All the characters, because there's so many stories. There's so
yeah.
many stories across the dozens and hundreds of years, and then we haven't even talked about. I think I'll close the episode with the hobgoblin story.
That's just
It's
in the comic books. That was my favorite single issue. Like it always gets me, and there's so many layers to that. Like
so many layers.
even the first scene where they're talking about attacks, end of the world, and then if you
Taxes, and then 100
at the
years later
end
is
it's the
the
same thing. It's like, and then just it made me teary eyed in the comic, and I didn't expect it to be teary eyed here as well. The same thing,
mm,
like that line that I know it's I heard it's impolite to make friends with a little
mm,
emphasis on the friend, and it's the first time that you really see Morpheus smiling and with joy. I
mm-hmm.
mean, he smirked a little bit, but it's not joy.
Yeah.
This one it was like it was just
I mean,
so good.
there's so many ways you can look at it. It's like, yeah, Morpheus was right. How dare there's a puny human think that that one person is needed by an endless, right? But in the end, in the last few episodes, we kind of say like, we should not manipulate humanity. In fact, humanity should manipulate us,
Uh-huh.
right? They created us, right? So that's kind of like the idea of that was like the precursor. That's why I love that it's in the middle of the episodes. And you're right, like in the comics, my favorite was always the walk and talk with Dream,
Mm-hmm.
because it was just
What death you
a
mean?
warm
Dream and
and
death.
fuzzy narrative way of one, also like the various way that people could die. Some could be like an infant dying, playing football, a
Getting
guy that
shot,
is getting
drowning,
shot. Of course, there's
drowning,
one that is
overdose.
yeah, in their honeymoon too. Like there's no rhyme or reason all this, but in the end, death doesn't have to be scary. And not only the death as the act of death, but death as the personification. I love the way that she looked at it as that's not a lonely job.
I'm not
She's
alone.
always,
Yeah.
she's never alone. Her job can never be alone.
Same with
Right. So
Dream.
that's 100%. Right. So same with all of the endless. I think that's
Actually,
the
yeah.
episodes why that it was smack in the middle, because this is where Dream kind of turns from experiencing the worst of humanity to experiencing its function and seeing not only the worst of humanity but all
And
of
getting
humanity.
he's also getting kinder a little bit, softer, but not too
Yeah,
much.
there's
I like how they're changing, but it's not very over the top. Like that scene, it hits me like that scene where Unity sacrifices herself for Rose. Rose didn't
yep.
break down crying and stuff. Because if you think about it,
She was,
she just knew her for like a few
yeah,
weeks, you know. So
and
it's not
she's
like
thankful.
yeah, she was
And
very thankful, but she was not
mm-hmm.
like the crying breakdown. No, why are
Mm-hmm.
you doing this? Don't do this. Like so, it's like it's so good.
Yeah,
So
I mean the hobgoblin, and then the that episode about death is going to be one of the best pieces of art, not just cinema, in the future, because it's weird how in one episode two wildly different storylines and looks about the same topic but in opposite ends. Like you have death picking up people that are dying, and then you have this dude that just like, hey, imagine that you're talking in a bar and saying, you know what, I'm not gonna die, and then he doesn't.
And
Like that's so.
all their every iteration of that second story, like there was something fun and something significant and something layered happening. You know
And
the scene
different.
where I'm not a demon and I'm no Jew, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Will Shakespeare,
No, the idea that he at
the
first, like the first 100 years, he just enjoyed life. The
yeah,
second 100 years
he got
had
better.
Gadling,
He
and
got
no, he got
reach.
better. He got. Is
Family.
it the second? Oh yeah, the second he
Family
got
with the
rid.
second one.
And then he lost his family and lost
The third
everything.
one is when he lost, and then the fourth one was the he got better
He
again.
and he learned again, right? So, and that idea too is like I remember not enjoying it in the comic book because when I read the book, I was a little bit younger, and everything that he said is like that will fucking bore me to death. Imagine doing the same thing over and over and over again,
That's
hundreds
what
and hundreds of
that's what
years.
Morpheus said. Why would a mortal crave this for eternity? But then you also got I
Both,
also but
both him and death.
yeah. And I also love the scene where he's like don't do slavery. It's like you're telling me what to do. It's like I thought the point was live my life. That's what you're taking from them. You're not taking away their choice. So it's like, oh, it's
That
just
and I'm looking forward to the second season and I have like a hobgaddling update. Like maybe it's like a one-off. Like, what are you doing now? Hobgaddling. Robert Gadling. Oh my god.
it's so good. And
I just
Desire,
love
Desire was so well cast, and she just oh they sorry not she
they. Yeah.
they texted Gaiman like it has Desire been
DM.
cast? Yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
DM.
Like
How see? Dreams do come true,
oh,
bro.
and we haven't
Look
even
at
talked
that.
about the Corinthian. My God, I mean I loved him. Like he even said he had a problem at the start acting because he had to make it look sexy, but goddamn is he sexy. Boyd Holbrook, oh, kudos. Like,
So for me the most memorable character for him because I haven't seen him anywhere else but Logan.
I saw him in Predator. I liked him in Predator, the 2018 one with Olivia Munn
Oh, okay. Oh,
and
yeah.
Michael
You
Key.
know what? I'm gonna watch that again. I enjoyed
Yeah,
Prey so much. I'm gonna watch that again. But yeah, that was what I was like saying. Like he was such a good nightmare because he wasn't scary and he wasn't trying to do anything. That's the weird thing about the Galt, um, Green was the one Field of Greens
Fiddler's Green,
and Fiddler's Green and
Galt.
Corinthian.
Yeah.
They're just doing their function.
No, they're different. One wanted doing his function as a nightmare, but living as a human. One
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a dream, not a nightmare. Galt.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fiddler's Green wanted to become human from being a place. So I just love that. In the end, right? Even Dream, like he he made Galt a dream. You know,
Yeah,
like you remember,
it's
he's like,
changing too.
yeah. That's why. Who was it that said it? Was it who told Lucien that dream like that's close to us forgiveness? Oh, Matthew.
Oh,
Was it?
a Fiddler's Green.
Oh, Fiddler's Green. Yeah, it's like as
He
close as
said
an
he was
apology.
wrong. That's as close to an apology as you can get.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, we've always known that. I like it because like it's subtlety. Like Dream, we know Dream. Even a little spoiler, but we know Dream will be kinder and nicer, but not that nice, not that
mhm.
kind, not that soft. He's still gonna be hard because inside he's still hard. And I think you have to be hard if you've been alive for a billion trillions of years. You know.
Yeah, but also the idea of it is like it's a function. Like again, being nice or being bad about it. He's doing the thing that he is built to do. So, there are dreams have function, nightmares have function, but sometimes there's no reason why you can't make a dream a nightmare and a nightmare dream. So it's like super cool. All right, I think we've
went over.
discussed so much, but final thoughts and then final ranking for Sandman Season 1.
Let's give it a Let's give it a 10. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be perfect to be a masterpiece, but
Mm-hmm.
fuck if it, with the high expectations. Even though I tried to lower it, I mean, if it's something's near and dear to your heart, it's hard to bring the expectations down. So yeah, I'm going with the 10. They gave us what we wanted and more with the great
Mm-hmm.
casting, great lines, looked better than expected. Yeah.
I'm giving it a 10 too. I know as deeply as we discussed this episode, there are still so many things that there's so many layers in the storyline that I think even if you watch it episode by episode, like if you watch it out of order, you might not get the feel real the overarching
Mm-hmm.
storyline, but every episode has depth and something that you'd learn, if not about an idea, but about stories, but about there's so many things that I think everybody would enjoy. The only hesitation that I would, give people is like this is not this is for this is a thinking man's show, right? The more you think, the more that you reflect. You don't have to be smart. I'm not saying you need to be an
Mm-hmm.
intellectual. It's a thinking, reflecting. The more that you meditate about this show, the more that you absorb it, the more that you listen to the words, the more that you will enjoy.
Yeah,
You can enjoy just
it's
sit.
not like Grant Morrison stuff where you have to really be in the mood and try to understand
Oh
everything
yeah.
and be smart. You can
Oh,
still enjoy this, but
good call.
if you just reflect more, you'll get more. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
No, very good call. Like, I mean, I was telling you about all of these layers. There were not I did not have to have a philosophy degree to understand. They sometimes even spoon feed it to you. Like all
Mm-hmm.
of these conversations, like a nightmare, you force people to face their fears. Like a dream, you force people to like move forward to get to reality, something like that. So all of these thoughts, function of death. We didn't see function of desire yet, but all of these ideas, they're told to us. Right? That's good. There are
But the
verbalized.
concepts are
So
just
that's good too.
a lot of the concepts are just so amazing. Like the cereal convention. Oh my god, how is that not a
It's
thing?
so
It's so amazing. Like why not? Right? Cereal, even in the name, no
no,
kids
but
in a cereal convention.
and then
I
Gilbert,
I was crushing on
aka
the Good Doctor. Huh?
oh, I like the good
She was
doctor.
cute. Yeah,
I
but
really like the good
Gilbert
doctor.
going in.
Oh my, Gilbert
What
walking
the
to different
fuck is?
rooms. So that even that 1 minute session of going into different rooms with different themes like religion, women, feminist.
Finance, I think it was something like with money or something.
Uh,
There was one
oh
with
yeah, so
money.
it's like investing, and then the other one is the feminism in fucking
Uh-huh.
serial killing too. Like all of it was like fucking mind blowing. It was amazing. So there's just so many more stories like those. So that's the thing too. It's like you need just to think more. You don't have to, but you're gonna enjoy it. So I think this is a 10. I think this is gonna reap rewards. I think this is something that I'm going to watch over and over. My hope is just they keep this within 3 to 4 seasons. Right?
I think it can be done. They did like
Yeah.
1.5 volumes already. I don't remember how volume 2 ended, but
Mm.
they started it here already because volume 2 is the dollhouse and
Yeah.
it's already in there.
Yeah. So if they can keep it to
I
like
think 5 would
three
be
to four or
four,
five,
four,
there you
four,
go.
5 would
Like,
be nice.
2 volumes, 1.5 volumes per season. I think that's perfect. 8 to 10 episodes, under an hour. And I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna.
I
It's
think
great.
so.
They
I
have
know.
the basis now. So with that, final goodbyes, Chubax.
Yeah. See you on our next show.
All right. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Let us know what you think. Hop on the comment section on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/plus63hp, or you can tweet, Instagram message us, put some comments in Facebook as well. Our handle is at +63hp. Or we'd love your subscription on our podcasts as well. So we are on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and all of your favorite podcasting apps. And it really helps us with the algorithms, and it helps us create a community. Hey, welcome, welcome.
So yun na.
Help us grow this community of
It's wild again.
Awesome. Ooh, it's gonna be a good night in the Tweedian household. Help us grow this community of like-minded individuals that enjoy good content. Share us with your friends and family. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next show. Bye.